Hey everybody, it's time. I think it's time for the end of this game, isn't it? Well, get ready, because here we go. Alexa, turn off living room. I want this creepy as possible. Alexa, turn off living room. There we go. I'm pretty sure we're close to the end of this. Last time we were here, I think we've killed our friends. But they were kind of trying to kill us too, so, yeah, it's been an interesting night, hasn't it? But now there's the townspeople that are about to come after us, so... We need to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of the string of mysterious deaths that would follow, so then there must be something hidden in there. Please reinvestigate the victim for the dismemberment incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. Largely, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could have been some sort of ploy that they were able to deceive the police with. I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that thought right now, though. Oh yeah, there's something even more important I needed to write. Tomotaki-san's death was from an unknown drug. That's right, that drug, it was an irreplaceable piece of evidence. No doubt, just by having this, everything would be uncovered. I couldn't leave just that vital clues lying on the floor. The syringe is proof. Writing that down, I stuck the syringe onto the back of the clock with tape. So it absolutely would not slip out and fall to the floor. Firmly. Firmly. Ding dong. The bell rang. They were here. Couldn't write anymore. But even still, there's one last thing I had to write. I have no idea why it's become like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note. If you're reading this, and I am probably already dead, though you may or may not find my body, I was going to write out everything that could have happened, either dying from the curse or being demoned away. You who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. With this, my last will and testament was complete. I wasn't certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea. Just in case. I folded a note, stuck it back onto the back of the clock, and returned it back to its usual spot. I couldn't help but pray. Higurashi-san. Something happens, I leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed down at Rina and Mion. This was probably the last time we ever see each other. Rina, Mion. I really had thought all of us were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun in my previous school. I only worried about standardized test scores, about if the school I hoped to get into was where I really wanted to go or a safety net. That was all I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friends were also my rivals in study, in competitions, in personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. This month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over the club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping down my face. Uncontrollable tears. I should have no obligation to shed tears for them. But they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life. Even if they were trying to kill me. Everything that happened this month, I wouldn't forget it. Could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it all a trap meticulously orchestrated up until today to ensnare me? Could it have been that I had arbitrarily assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Rina and Mion, they were really my friends. Those happy days, there was nothing fake or clear about them. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Oyashiro-sama. Regardless, both Rina and Mion, they were the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. Wait, they weren't the kind of people to sell up their friends, regardless of whether or not they were forced. There's no way such a thing like being possessed by Oyashiro-sama could happen in reality. Then did the real Rina and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. Having beaten down both Rina and Mion, I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake. Only the reality that was before me. Rina and Mion were sprawled out at my feet. That was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts to my benefit that I had beaten my friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change reality. Rina and Mion were both dead. I felt like they were a crack in the dam of strange emotions I was holding back. It felt like my strange, calm state, which was nothing more than a bluff, had receded, and in that opening, insanity had leaked out. I killed them. I killed them. Rina and Mion. I killed them. The doorbell rang again. The unrelenting echo pulled me back into a state of composure once again. I didn't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I needed to get away. I didn't want to die. I would uncover everything after that. The identity, whoever or whatever pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would survive. I would survive. I would definitely survive. I killed Rina for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living. So I can't die. For my sake and for the sake of Rina and Mion, I have to survive. I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again as if to urge me on. Behind this single solitary door, they were there. Keeping quiet, I headed toward the kitchen. Headed toward the back door. Before opening the back door, I put my ear to it and checked for people outside. No one. Hey, Bunny. After I put my shoes on, I opened the door slowly as to not make a sound. There he is, the back door! A piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run. Get out of here, Keiichi. One after the other, I felt stuff like rationale and intelligence. Those things you use when you have time to spare spill out of me. I didn't feel any pain from branches scratching my arms and my forehead. My autonomously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There was nothing else it desired. It probably had no complaints whatsoever. So of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. I just ran. Just recklessly rushing in the direction I was already heading. Hi, Bunny. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was headed. Turning around, I felt the presence right next to me. That presence was without a doubt chasing me like my shadow. If I took even one misstep, I would be devoured. That's what I thought, so I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran at full speed. That was the chirping of the Higurashi, telling me that it was evening. Trying to tell me something, and then I finally heard it. The wailing cry of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So I ran toward where I could hear more of the Higurashi's chirping. The farther I ran, the farther away their chirping became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running from me? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I'm sorry. 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 I felt that only the Higurashi knew. The smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. The expensive smoke filter gave off some crackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why did smokers have to be shoved so far down this corridor where the sun didn't even reach? I recalled hearing that the tax revenue from tobacco is about a tenth of the municipality's revenue. We were the most heavily taxed members of this municipality. Ah, Pablo, thank you for liking the stream. Muchos gracias. I really wish they showed us a little more respect. Why would you discard the 5 Manzu there? It's just decrease your options. Ah, Justin, thank you so much for liking the stream. Thank you so much. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with the Mahjong magazine called Next Turn. You're still in Tenpai if you cut the 5 Manzu. If you're betting on high tie, then shouldn't you be going in with a Mangan? Kuma-chan, look at the pond. They all are discarded a 5 Manzu. It's a safe tile. You'd hate if at the end of the game someone was sitting on a Tenpai at the last turn, wouldn't you? The kid let out another groan, put out a cigarette, and took out another one. I just don't agree. Why would you reduce your own options? By the way, you can't call Ron when you're winning tile in that high tie. What? Why is that? Just then, I heard a voice coming from down the hall. Are you there, Oishi-san? You have a call from a civilian. Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon. Why can't you call Ron on it? Hold on for a second. Oishi-san! The man sitting in the seat Oishi-san was heading toward waved at the telephone receiver. Outside line from a payphone. Oh, why thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Oishi. Who is it? Ah, Oishi-san. Hello. If it isn't Mayabara-san. Why, good evening. From the tone of Mayabara's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This is the first time Mayabara-kun had phoned me. And he was calling from a payphone. Please calm down. Did something happen? His voice was erratic over the line. He had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that nobody else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone. What happened? Calm down, Mayabara-san. I can have the local officers head to your location. I'll be there soon, too. I think that's impossible. His voice was quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people, even as he was making his call, was he? Mayabara-san, you're calling from a payphone right now, right? Where's the payphone? There were no other sounds besides Mayabara-kun's voice. It had to be a phone booth. I scratched out a note and thrust it to my colleague sitting across from me. Hinamizawa, phone booth. He understood quickly and hastily started on the internal lines. Calm down, Mayabara-san. What is your current situation? It usually wasn't a good idea to tell someone panicking to do so, but this was not a usual case. Mayabara-kun didn't just get in trouble, get away, and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now. But yelling at Mayabara-kun right now would just needlessly cause him to be even more frantic. Mayabara-kun wasn't just calling to seek help. He was trying to tell us something more than that. Whatever that was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be another chance. My colleague pushed a note in front of me. There's only one booth in Hinamizawa. Patrol cars on the way. 5 minutes. That's too long. How many officers are in there? 2. Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there were likely quite a few people surrounding Mayabara-kun. 5 minutes was too long. Did you call the officer station in Hinamizawa? He's scheduled to be on patrol. They're currently out, and it'll be possible to contact them. God damn! Kuma-chan, bring the car around. Understood. Hello? Oishi-san? Hello? It's alright. I can hear you loud and clear. There's something wrong with Mayabara-kun. This wasn't a normal coughing sound. Vomiting? Or was it blood? Had he already been attacked? Was he injured? Mayabara-san, the police are on their way. They'll be there in a couple minutes, so hold on somehow. Hello? Can you hear me? Mayabara-san. I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit. The worst possible situation popped into my head. Mayabara-san, who's the culprit? How many are there? I thought at first the culprit was human. Heck. Couldn't tell if it was a cough or vomiting. Are you alright, Mayabara-san? I thought that the culprit was a person, and not Oyushiro-sama's curse. Up until right now. But I guess in the end, there was an intense bout of coughing and vomiting. But I guess Oyushiro-sama does exist. No, he's here! Mayabara-san, please just calm down. I had been thinking it was strange for a while now. It's been following me this whole time. I run and run and run, but it just sticks to me like my shadow. But slowly, so slowly, it's digging itself into my back. Mayabara-san, are they right now, perhaps? Right behind you? Behind me, right behind me. Please, Mayabara-san, I can tell you're scared. But please, who is it that's right behind you? I can't just look behind me. If I do, I'll... I understand that you're scared. Please tell me. You just need to turn around a bit. Who is it? Who is right behind you, Mayabara-san? Right after I said that, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was a nightmarish sound. Mayabara-san, it couldn't be that you're clawing out your own throat? There was no answer, but I could hear something like scratching. There was a bang as if something was being hit. Mayabara-kun had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear groaning and vomiting over on the other end, and a repeated abnormal noise. Hello? Hello? My Bara-san! Hello? I knew how far away the voice would sound on the other end. I couldn't help but shout. At that moment, I heard a whispering coming from the other end. Couldn't tell what he was saying. From the way he was saying it, he was talking to himself? Was he talking to someone there? Hello? My Bara-san! Rather than whispering, it was some kind of mantra he was chanting over and over. I focused my senses, trying to pick up what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Beep. Suddenly the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because it was a payphone. Ah, it's because it cut out so abruptly. The last thing he came out so clearly in my mind. Oishi-san, the car is good to go. Oishi-san. I'm sorry. Oishi-san. That's what he was repeating over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling there was no longer a need to hurry. I could hear the cheer of our Higurashi spilling in from the open window. I should have been able to hear them this entire time. I just wasn't paying any attention. Why did I focus on them all of a sudden? Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt. July 1983. In Hinamizawa, a remote village near Shishibone City, there was a murder involving 2 female students. The suspect, Keiichi Maebara. The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, Rina Ryugo Mion, to his house and beat them to death with a metal bat. The scene of the crime was the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood, and there were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway, living room, and the hallway all had traces of a struggle. At the entryway, the shoe rack and wall had evidence of being impacted by a strong blunt force. It's believed that the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it is believed the destruction occurred before the murders. There is a possibility that the suspect overpowered his victims to keep them from fleeing. In the living room, the rug had been pulled back and thrown aside. It's hard to believe that this had a connection to the struggle with the victims. Thus, the reason to this remains unknown. In the kitchen, the garbage bag was torn apart. Its contents were spread out on the floor. Garbage was strewn out in the surrounding area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspect were discovered. It's believed that the suspect had for some reason taken out the garbage and stuck it with his fists. The reason for this remains unknown. In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words, was there a needle?" were written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case, the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered. Though the garage door was functional, it had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered on the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown. The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer found that the suspect collapsed inside a phone booth. At the time of discovery, the suspect was unconscious in critical condition. He was rushed to a local hospital for treatment, but he did not remain unconscious and died 24 hours later. The results of the autopsy indicate the immediate cause of death had been hypoventilic shock. The suspect had clawed at his own throat with his fingernails, and that resulting in bleeding caused him... Oh god, he did it. With the similarity to the death of Tomitaki-san the week prior, police began their connection to have an investigation. However, due to wishes of local authorities, it will be a confidential investigation. Due to the abnormal nature of the death, it was suspected that drugs were involved, but as with Tomitaki-san, no traces were discovered. What prompted all this remains inexplicable. As such, the case is being treated as an act committed on impulse. However, with several accounts of the suspect's bizarre behavior leading up to the incident, it is possible that this was premeditated. Separated from his group of friends, isolation, inexplicable behavior. Several days before the incident, the suspect began carrying around a metal bat. The suspect was observed displaying aggressive behavior as well as talking to himself at school. His classmates were actually heard portions of what he was saying. 2 days before the incident, the suspect declared to his parents the possibility of his death. Due to these circumstances, the police have begun an investigation into the possibility that this plan was not committed on impulse, but was instead planned several days in advance. Afterwards, a note was found in the suspect's room that he had written himself. The note was written on 2 sheets from a B5 college rule notebook that had been torn in half. As if he was trying to conceal it, it was stuck behind a clock on the wall. Contents are written in the appendix. Police believe it to be strongly related to the incident. Police changed their line of investigation based on the possibility that the suspect was involved in some sort of incident himself. However, no further clues were found, casting doubt on the credibility of the note. Was the crime impulsive or premeditated? With the situation unclear and no further developments, the case has been labeled as unresolved. However, the following year, suspicion arose regarding the nature of the note. The note was not written on 2 halves of B5 paper from 2 separate sheets. It was originally a single sheet of B5 paper. In order to erase several lines from the middle, someone had torn them out. Judging from the size of the letters, the missing section is estimated to be 2 to 3 lines. Highly probable the person who eliminated the lines in question is not the suspect. In addition, judging from the trace of large quantities of cellophane tape being stuck to the back of the clock, speculation that something other than the note was stuck there has arisen. Oh shit. The person who first discovered the crime was a detective rumored to have a connection with the incident, Kuroda Oishi. He underwent voluntary questioning but denied his involvement in any damages to the note. Suspect's note. I, Keiichi Maibara, am in fear of my life. I do not know why they are after my life. The only thing I do know is that it has to do with Yoshiro-sama's curse. Rina Miyano conspirators the perpetrator. Well, 4 or 5 adults may have a right van. So, all in the first sheet, everything below this has been ripped out. On the second sheet, everything above this has been ripped out. No idea why it's become like this. If you are reading this, and I am probably already dead. Though the only difference may be the presence or lack of body. You who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That is my only desire. Keiichi Maibara. Oh shit. Well, that was intense, man. All cast reviews become available. Oh boy. My god. This is an unsolved mystery. I gotta find out what happened. What is this? Thank you for buying. How was it? You enjoyed it even a little bit? Make me happy. Even a little bit of stretching. That incredibly dark ending made me angry, you know? Made us angry. I understand this is Onikakushi chapter. It's supposed to be somewhat of a prologue to the entire series. How could the prologue have such an incredibly dark ending? Yes, but doesn't that happen sometimes? Player digging through the story in order to avoid a bad ending is the point of these types of games, after all. Still just the first chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Yeah, looking forward to it too. That was the next chapter. Rena, do you know? Yeah, they said the next chapter will introduce another aspect of the story. We'll have to do this soon. That's a strange way of putting it. What does that mean? In this chapter, they introduced a string of mysterious deaths that happened in Hinamizawa recently, right? Next chapter will introduce some of the history of Higurashi. One strange event happening after another, I got totally lost. What exactly is Oyashiro-sama's curse about? Actually, what is Oyashiro-sama to begin with? They didn't explain it much. Haven't heard much about it, but I have a kind of bad feeling about it. Feels like it'll be another one of those scary stories where somebody gets cursed again. Tough luck, eh, Kei-chan? What kind of curse is he gonna get hit with this time? However, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of story it's going to be. Sorry for being late, my bad, my bad. Hey everybody, good work today. Same to you. Yeah, where's Kei-chan? Keiichi-kun is already offering the script for the next chapter. It's really hard being the main character. Huh, that's too bad. Could have at least Poke didn't say hello. It's not because he doesn't have any character art, so he couldn't poke his head in if he wanted to. Rika-san, that's what we refer to as personal problem. In any case, the stories were a lot of trouble, especially Keiichi-kun and Rika-chan. Trouble? That was the mother of all bad ends! I wonder, what was the identity of that thing that attacked Keiichi-kun? My theory is that was the work of people made to look like a curse. But at the end, Keiichi made the phone call. Yeah, I also thought that call was strange. At that point, Kei-chan should have been certain that the culprits were people. That really was a strange phone call. Almost sounded like he was being chased by a ghost or something. Just on a phone call really makes me think it was the work of a curse after all. So here, why don't we all share our theories? Start with Sonozaki-san. I absolutely believe it was people. I think it was man-made incident that was just imitating a strange folklore floating around. I think it was him psychologically. I think it was an actual curse. His daily festival is no link in chain of mysterious deaths. So-called chain of mysterious deaths is definitely someone trying to reenact the folklore. Definitely. I think it was the curse. Looking at that scene where Keiichi-san went berserk in the entryway and the last scene with the phone call, I couldn't come to the conclusion that the person was the culprit. When you say it that way, it really wasn't the type of scene that would make you think it was the work of an actual person. The last scene was the one with the entryway. Think about a delusional episode brought by post-traumatic stress disorder. I wouldn't know what's going on anymore, even if you didn't use such complicated words. In other words, Keiichi was so scared that he was imagining things. Then what was the meaning behind that scene? What exactly was that mysterious presence behind Keiichi? A red herring. This is so meta. Michan, what do you mean by red herring? Like Omei Tomataki-san said here, that scene was a result of Kei-chan having a stress-induced delusion from being mentally cornered. It's a ploy to make the player think it was a curse. That's why it was a red herring. Well, when you say it like that, but, well, it just means that there's possibility. In that case, the theory that Uishi-san proposed during their story, that was a conspiracy by the villagers, was correct. What does that man himself have to say about that? Me? Makes you think, eh? Huh, I totally thought Uishi-san would be behind the people explanation. During the story, I said it was definitely the work of people, but if the person really was to blame, that leaves a lot of loose ends. Like what? Let's hear what Detective Uishi-san's theory is. First of all, if the human is the culprit, then there has to be a motive. In other words, somebody has to gain something from it. So what you mean is, this was the work of people. There would be something gained from causing the chain of mysterious deaths. Exactly. I felt that if somebody could have benefited from the deaths of the people related to the dam development, but the recent victims weren't related to that at all. First off, who benefits from killing Keiichi-kun? I see. If you say it like that, my case is kind of weak too. I mean, it's none of your money was stolen. There's no way it was human culprits. That's not everything there is to it, right? Like Michan's just said, there might have been some sort of reason for them to reenact the folklore. Exactly. This wasn't the murder we considered the typical motives. It makes me think that this was most likely some sort of ritualistic murder to reenact the bloodstained history of the village. So I'll ask a question in the hour. Who gains from this reenactment? It's not about simple benefits, and more of a psychological reason. I think that maybe this was an act of revenge. Something naive, native to the region. Oh my gosh, this. See, remember who's some repressed family looking out to air an old grudge of their ancestors, something like that. I don't like that. What is it, dude? Man playing the detective said so. Decided it was a curse. Just like how my boss said the story. Okay, so you sure someone possessed Rina-san and Sonozaki and committed those acts? That would fit the evidence most. Much as I would hate to say it. Oh, same opinion as Oishi-san. I can't come up with any other explanation for the normally kind Rina and Michan to start acting like that. I don't get what he's saying. I'd like an explanation. Oh, sorry. In other words, I think this may end up being a really cool story. Oh, wait, Michan, you don't mean... If you follow the trail of evidence to the very end, that's how it would seem. I also have my suspicions. Or does Rina-san and Sonozaki both actually had those personalities to begin with and were merely deceiving my Ibarra-san, am I right? I don't like that at all. All the curse is false. You're nice people. I think that too. I think Rina and Mion are a good people at heart. I think during the story they were definitely possessed by something. So Rina also thinks it was a curse. But let me ask everyone who thinks it was a curse. That's a reason for a curse, right? I don't think there would be something indiscriminately cursing everything. Can somebody please explain that? A curse is a curse. Human logic won't get us anywhere. Oh my god, this is crazy. Satoko-san, personified deity is, in the end, nothing more than the creation of people. That's why the method of thinking is also understandably dull to humans. You look at the Greek pantheon, they cry, get angry, jealous. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, I'm gonna kind of go through this epilogue on my own now. But thanks for coming in. And next up, we're gonna be doing, playing some Fate Stay Night doing the Saber arc. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye, Jana.